This week on Uncut Gems with Slim. That's why we feel like we scruffing and trying to get it out the mud now, because nobody want to rest. Nobody want to be like Chick-fil-A and be closed on Sundays. Hey y'all, I hope whatever day you're listening to this that you are doing well. Today we are talking about something that everybody needs, but everybody don't always get, and that is rest. So, y'all, this is a real big one for me because I'm still trying to figure it out. But hopefully after today's episode, y'all get some tips and some tricks to help you get your rest. As you know, rest is a necessity for bodily and mental health, and it is our much needed recovery time. I know a lot of times we don't think about sleep in that way, or we don't think about resting in that way, that it's our recovery time. So the same way that athletes have recovery in their workouts and in the training room, your body needs time to recover while you're asleep. So whether that be mentally, whether that be physical healing that happens during the sleep process, like, we all need rest. I've come to the conclusion that in order to maximize your time of rest, you must execute your time awake. So then you might ask, okay, well, Slim, how do we do that? So if you haven't tuned in, episode 1 and 2 are live on my channel, and we talked about organizing our chaos and winning the decisions battle. And that is what's gonna help you to maximize your time awake. Not only is rest needed for like our bodily health, but it is also a command. And yes, you heard that right. There's a command in the Bible that we supposed to rest, y'all. And I didn't think about it until my bishop, prophetess Dinar, had told me about observing the Sabbath and if I had a Sabbath. And I was like, all day, a whole day of rest, like, a whole day of rest is crazy. And if you don't know, I'm gonna let you know. It's actually a command that we rest. And it's in the Bible. Don't take my word for it. Take the word for it. Amen. I'm gonna read it for y'all, and I'm reading the easy to read version. For all of my Bible girlies and guys who are like really trying to understand the Bible, for me personally, I need something that's easy to read. So I found the easy to read version, and baby, it gives me life. It breaks it down, and I feel like it's a good version for people who like, dang, art thou though, in the King James version and all them versions. If you're not there yet and you trying to figure out how to better understand the Bible, the easy to read version is a great version to check out to try and better digest what you're reading. But we could talk about studying the Bible, in the comments, because studying the Bible, we had this little class at my church. You can't just read the Bible, you gotta read the Bible. And baby, I learned so much on how to better understand the Bible. And it's not as difficult as it may seem, especially if you're new to actually studying the Bible and reading the word. But anyway, Exodus 20, 8 through 11 says, "You must remember to keep the Sabbath a special day. You may work 6 days a week to do your job, but the seventh day is a day of rest in honor of the Lord your God. So on that day, no one should work, not you, your sons, your daughters, your men, your women, slaves, auntie, uncle, cousin, nephew, even your animals. And the foreigners living in the cities must not work." That's crazy. One more time. "But the seventh day is a day of rest in honor of the Lord your God. So on that day, no one should work, not you, your sons, your daughter, daddy, uncle, cousin, men, women, slaves, even your animals." Even your animals. That's crazy. I don't like animals, but even your animals, your pets ain't supposed to work on the seventh day. Neither foreigners supposed to work. "That is because the Lord worked 6 days and made the sky, the earth, the sea, and everything in them. And on the seventh day, he rested. In this way, the Lord blessed the Sabbath, the day of rest. He made that a very special day." So not only, first of all, all them folks supposed to rest. That's why we feel like we scruffing and trying to get it out the mud now, because nobody want to rest. Nobody want to be like Chick-fil-A and be closed on Sundays. Anyway, So not only are we supposed to observe the Sabbath in honor of God, but it's a day of rest, and it's a very special day. So for the Bible to say it's a very special day, that means I need to be valuing the Sabbath, valuing my rest, setting aside, appointing a day of rest. The Bible said it, not me, but I reiterated it, but you're supposed to have a Sabbath, and the day of rest is very important. And it's a way to honor the Lord. Okay, period. So if you tell me I can sleep and honor the Lord through my sleep, I'ma do it. But no, for real. I would say for me though, lacking discipline in my daily routines is the only reason why I'm up past 10 p.m. on any given night. Whether that be me mismanaging my time while I'm working, whether it's effects of me scrolling or wasting time doing this and doing that, or not managing my time well, that's the only time that I'm not in the bed on time, when I don't steward my time well. And so days where I like multitask, where I'm like watching Netflix while I'm working, or spending excess time on social media, or taking an hour to eat dinner because I'm watching my Apple TV, like those are the days that I go to bed late. And so it's like, how can we, how can we do better? How can we get to bed on time? Not just thinking about getting to bed on time, but in order to observe the Sabbath and not do work an entire day out of the week, that means you gotta get it while the getting good them other 6 days. You gotta manage your time well in order to actually rest on that 7th day, because if you feel like I'm supposed to rest, you're not even gonna be able to enjoy the day of rest, because you're gonna be thinking about all the things that you got to do because you didn't get it done them other 6 days. So I have since gotten a lot better. I fasted with my church last month, and we got up and we had 6 a.m. prayer 3 days out of the week. So I had no choice but to go to bed early if I was going to make it to 6 a.m. prayer. And at the time, I was getting into bed at like 9 o'clock. So I was really proud of that, because when I went to bed at 9 o'clock, it enabled me to, one, get up at like 4:45, 5 a.m., get me some breakfast, get to church at 6 a.m., and be attentive during prayer. And then afterwards, I would go work out. So it just had me in a rhythm where I was able to like optimize my day, and I was just able to be way more effective by getting up earlier. But also, I had it wasn't like a pressure, but I had a deadline. It was like 9 p.m. it's lights out, point blank, period. I had no choice because I was committed to getting up in the mornings. And so when you have that mindset, you're able to be a little bit more disciplined and steward your time during the day better. During our time of fasting and prayer, I was able to get in a better routine of getting 8 hours of sleep. And so when you allocate 8 hours of the 24 hours you have in a day for sleep, then you got to figure out, be strategic and effective on how you're going to steward them other 16 hours. You got to divvy up your time based on priority. And that's something that I realized was very important, because as for me, who's a finisher, I'll start a project and want to finish everything by the time I go to bed and all this stuff. I had to start deciding, okay, what is a priority? What needs to get done today? If it doesn't need to get done today, then it's going to drop down on that priority list, and I will just get to it when I get to it, because I only have a chunk of time to get done what I need to get done before it's time to go to bed. And so lately, I've been working really hard to prioritize God and not just say he's my number one priority. You know how they be like, so what are your priorities? And everybody be like, God, my family, my job, woo. Like, I'm trying hard to actually prioritize God in my life. And so one way that I've been able to do this is practicing the tithing method, but with my time. What I mean by that is giving my first 10% to God and believing that God can do more with my 90% than I can do with 100%. And just really trusting and leaning on God for everything. One of the beautiful things about God is that he works outside of space and time. And so for me to think that I have the same 24 hours every day is madness. What I say? Madness. So if I give my time to God first, like, he will bless the rest. He can make hours of work turn into minutes. Like, time is just something that we got on this side of heaven to try and, keep track of the days. But he works outside of time, so he could do something that would take somebody 10 years in a day. He can do anything. He does the impossible. So it's crazy for me to just minimize my day to 24 hours. So I think by giving like that first 10% and the first 10% of my time to the Lord, whether that be prayer in the morning, reading the Bible, and I'm not coming to you as someone who got it all together. Like, I am currently behind on reading my Bible. I've been trying to read five Psalms a day. And so now I done I'm gonna tell you, this is a quick little side park story. What I've been doing, I've been able to be disciplined with going to the gym lately. But then I'll be like, oh man, like, I ain't read my Bible today. And it's like, wait a minute. And I had God check me, boo. Because it was like, girl, if you can go to the gym every day, work out for an hour and a half, but I forgot to read the Bible. I started pairing the stuff that I'm disciplined with the things that I'm not. And then using the thing that I'm typically disciplined with as a reward for doing the thing that I'm not disciplined with. So what I'm basically saying is, I can't go to the gym until I read my Bible. And it's not that it's a chore that I don't want to do or anything like that. I'm just not as disciplined with it in this season. So it's like, okay, well, if I'm aware that I'm disciplined going to the gym and woo, baby, that's gonna be your reward for doing something that you're not as disciplined in right now. So that might be something that you guys can do to help grow your discipline in certain areas where you lack it, by tying it to, on a kind of reward system type thing. So again, if I give my time to God first, he gonna bless the rest, and he'll make hours of work turn into minutes. Another priority that, y'all, I try my best, but another priority is eating. I don't think I'm the only one who work all the time and accidentally forget to eat. Like, I cannot be the only person who does that. Comment below if sometimes you miss a meal because you just be powered through working all the time. That's me. And so I have to prioritize stuff like that. Even if that means setting an alarm to eat lunch, to make sure that I am being disciplined in my daily routine. So if there's things like that you are working to be more disciplined in, set an alarm as a reminder. It doesn't hurt to have reminders for you to do the things that you say you're gonna do, or do the things that you need to do. And that's all the way down to eating, baby. Okay, so I like to multitask when I eat, but I like to make sure that I'm intentional about making sure that I eat my meals, and I'm not just like working and I only ate one thing today because I've been working all day. Like, that's not healthy. That's not good for the body. That's not good for, nothing. You need to be eating. So that's a quick tip that I have that has helped me make sure I get my 3 meals a day, snacks here and there. So the Passion Translation, Psalms 127:2 says, "It is really senseless to work so hard from early morning till late at night, toiling to make a living for fear of not having enough. God can provide for his devoted lovers even while they sleep." And then I'm gonna read it in the easy to read version. It says, "It's a waste of time to get up early and stay up late trying to make a living. The Lord provides for those he loves even when they are sleeping." That in itself just like is encouraging for me, because it's like, it don't make sense to, like, I know we have this grind culture, and I too partake in it. I be working early morning to late night, and it's like, there's no pressure to work all day and all night, because the Lord's gonna provide for his lovers. He's gonna provide for his children. So I think believing that helps release the pressure of the grind culture, like truly believing that the Lord's gonna provide. Like, he could do anything. He's a miracle working God. Like, he gonna do it, baby. So go to sleep. Observe the Sabbath. It's okay. And so that's something that I have to constantly remind myself, like, he gonna provide while I'm sleeping. While I'm sleeping, he's working. He's working. Now, he don't take days off because he's a good father. Okay? So just a few practical things that have helped me become more disciplined is managing my screen time and setting app limits. So setting app limits on your phone, if you have an iPhone, I don't know about the Androids, but setting time limits has drastically helped me navigate my time, because it's like, okay, baby, once you done been on them apps for 1-2 hours, you done for the day, period. So I do like that, and kind of like managing my screen time so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time scrolling when I could be doing something more productive. Another thing I had to do, because I'm a TV show girl, I had to limit how many shows I watch after a certain time. So I watch Netflix TV shows while I'm working. I just watch them all the time. But if I get into bed and I turn one on, I can watch an hour-long episode and it be so good that I keep wanting to watch more episodes. So I have to limit myself. It's after the work day, I can only watch one TV show, before I get into bed. Otherwise, I'm gonna be binge watching, and that's not good for me to be able to go to sleep on time. And then again, the other thing, rewarding myself for doing consistently well. So for example, if you really trying to read the Bible and tying it, like I said, I tie it to my workouts. I gotta read before I go to the gym. That's a reward kind of based thing for doing consistently well. If you finish a whole book in the Bible, if this is one of your goals, or say if going to the gym 3 days out the week is a goal, you can tie a reward to it, which will help kind of encourage you to do the thing that you're trying to be disciplined in. So as we wrap today's episode, I do have a challenge of the week, and I want you guys to pick a day and observe the Sabbath. So a day of rest and no work. For my creative friends, I know it's gonna be hard, but that means rest. No working on content, no brainstorming, just rest. And I know it can be hard. You could also use these days as days to get to know more about yourself. Take yourself out on a date, do something that you don't normally do, change up the scenery. This is a perfect day for that. And again, just pure rest, just rest, period. Watch your shows, read the Bible, go to the gym, if that's a form of rest for you. And then also, I want to encourage you to try to do this continually every week. The day that you pick may have to shift around your schedule, but at least for one day a week, sit down and rest. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Make sure you connect with us on Instagram at Uncut Gems with Slim. And until next week. Uncut Gems, Uncut Gems.